I don't know if anyone's watching, but here you can see that Ivan and William have a big lead, +4 lead right now on. I don't know if anyone's watching, but oops, I got to turn that off. They got a big lead on line 1 Damon right now, and they've already captured a knight and a bishop to their simple bishop. Black appears to have decent position, but that queen is looming very dangerously. On the other hand, what's interesting is that white is hugely underdeveloped on the right side. And they continue to threaten black, but it's interesting. And here comes the knight to get out. He doesn't want to. White is not going to want to castle queenside, I don't think. Because there's absolutely, the pawns are a mess over there, and the black king would be exposed on the c1 to h6 diagonal. They seem to have started with longer time than 45 minutes, but who cares? All right, while we're looking here, let's check in on. Okay, and they just moved a pawn up. That's going to keep the queen from putting the king in check on that a4 to e8 diagonal. Let's look over here. Okay, so here we have a very even game so far. No material exchanged yet. White is going to be the Delco boys, Chris and Brian, and Lawton and Steve are black, playing for the world. They, as you see, they have on analysis a very slight lead. That looks like it was a mistake for Brian and Chris. And I'm trying to spot the reason why. It does threaten the bishop. How can they exploit that? Oh, yeah, you know why? Because they've got... No, that's not right. I was going to say they've got a nice little double attack on the f3 knight of white, but that knight is protected by a pawn. No, I'm right. They should take that knight now with the bishop. The pawn will take back, and then the knight will take on that f3 square. That pawn, put the king in check, and they'll be up a pawn at the very least, and have stripped the defense away. Yeah, there it is. So that's check. Now, that's protected by the queen, though. The problem is they're going to have to take with the pawn here. It could simply move the king. Then it might actually... Moving the king to h1 might be the best move. If they take with the g2 pawn to the knight, then the bishop can take without penalty on h3, put the rook under pressure, and again, the king's defenses are completely stripped on the right side. This is not good news for team. This is not good news for team Northeast Corridor. So you have the knight moving out of the way. Basically, the only thing they could do, or sorry, the rook moving out of the way. The only thing they could do, and the king is just bereft of friends and anything. If they're wise, what they're going to do, well, as soon as they can, I would bring the bishop, the white bishop, down to f1. Try to exchange, and then get the king the hell out of there. Move him as quick as possible across the front of his rook and queen and down to c1. That's quite a journey for that king to make, but it may be the only chance they have of saving this game. Okay. Meanwhile, over here, white maintains a very significant lead. They are up a pawn, so they've got a pawn, a bishop, and a knight to the just bishop for white, for black rather. So again, we're witnessing a really good night so far for the world team. It's white's move now. Obviously, that queen is not going to take the rook. Um, a lot of good moves here. Moving the knight up is a decent move here. I would consider getting the bishop. I think bishop to f2 is a good move. You got to start getting those pieces out of there. Once you do f2, you're looking at a bishop exchange, maybe, or at the very least, he retreats his bishop. Yep, there it is. Well, the computer doesn't like it that much, but I think it's a pretty good move. So you exchange there. If he takes it, then you can move the g1 knight to take back, and then you're ready to castle on that king side. And that's ideal. With the lead they have right now, I think that's good. Now, the computer says their lead went down from 4 to 1. I don't quite understand that. I don't think an exchange does much here for black, except, again, let white get into castling position. I'm looking to see if there's a way they can threaten the queen. If they move the rook to b8, the queen is going to have to obviously flee on a diagonal, but could take the c6 pawn easily enough and not be threatened. Could go to a6 as well. There's no real threatening the queen here. That c6 pawn is vulnerable right now. That's something that they might have to think about this move or next move. You can cover it with queen e8 without exposing the queen to any danger. You cannot cover it with the a8 rook because that would expose the a7 pawn. And here's the tough move. Lionel's an aggressive player, and I think he might want to be thinking about that bishop exchange. But you've got to be very careful trading pieces here when you're already down. So there goes the queen out to a5. Computer doesn't love the move, but it doesn't hate it either. So that puts him in check. You would have to think the obvious counter here is b4. Put the pawn up in front of the queen. The queen can't take because it's covered by white queen. So what else could they do? They could move the queen down. No, they couldn't. They couldn't do that because that's not covered. Yeah, I think b4 is the obvious play here. At which point you wonder, does then the queen come down to a4 and sort of establish itself in enemy camp? Or even a3 maybe. Yeah, there's b4. The queen's got to be a little careful here. The good thing is that their rooks are buried right now. Now, it's not going to take much to unbury the a1 rook, but the h... Yeah, and there comes the king to a3. Which I have to admit puts a lot of good pressure on. And, to some extent now, the queen has got to be very, very careful. I might have left the... Now, here's a blunder. Here's a blunder from white. That gives black an immediate lead. I suspect that black can take the queen here. The question is, are they going to see it? And there's check. There's check, and that looks like a good move. That was an immediate move by Lionel and Damon. So what is the king going to do here? One option is to move the knight back. You can move the f3 knight to block check. However, in that case, not only can you take bishop with bishop, and it'll get taken back, but then you can move the other knight back down, and suddenly you've got a pretty strong attack on them, despite their material advantage here. Now, I'm looking at the white queen. Is the white queen takeable? Not anymore, for sure. If you threaten it with a rook, it can just go to c6 and take that pawn. And that's done. So this obviously the blunder that White made the blunder there with that rook move. Or sorry, with that knight move. And it looks like the proper move to have moved the queen. So here comes the knight blocking. And they're gonna take oh my goodness, is this mate? No, not quite. It's mate 9 now. Oh my, what a brilliant little sequence here. So first things first, he's going to have to block with the bishop. Well, he could try blocking with the knight. He's got to block with the knight or the bishop. If he blocks with the bishop, then bishop takes bishop, obviously. No, sorry. Then queen takes bishop, and that is, I believe, mate. So I think he has to block with the knight here. He's got to block with the knight, and then after the queen takes on b1, king can escape briefly to d2. So there goes the block with the knight. Clearly, they'll just take the knight. Now the king escapes. Now, I guess, here's the thing. They cannot take the rook right now because that knight is right in their way. The knight is going to take the queen right back. So you got to go, I believe, b2 here. You've got to go b2. Keep the king in check. Once you go b2, then you can take the bishop with the bishop. I really hope they see the knight here. I really hope they see both the knight and the rook. Cannot take the rook, and you must move the queen, or else the rook will get you next turn. If they do something like bishop takes bishop right now, it would be an epic disaster. They have mate in 8 moves, and it's going to involve keeping the king in check. One winning move here, and that's it. One winning move, and that's queen to b2. Little disconcerted it's taking this long. Let's quickly check back on the other match, where we have black still with a very significant lead. Nothing's really changed in the sense that the king is quite exposed. All right, we're going back here. Well, this is interesting. Now, it went from mate 9 a moment ago to black leading by 23. I think mate 8 moves seem more correct to me. See, the king cannot move up to the 3 rank because the d4 black pawn is preventing both of those. Again, yeah, there's b2, no brainer. Black has to go back down. Okay, we're back to mate and 7. So king can only go to d1 or e1. There's nothing, no piece can stand in between him and the queen. The big problem from total victory right now is that the knight protects. Now, if the king makes the mistake of going to e1, if the king makes the mistake of going to e1, queen to c1, and that then becomes mate in 2 because, yes, that's a mistake. Queen to c1 here is mate in 2. Because the bishop can guard it, but then the queen can just take the bishop. It's protected by his own bishop. He can take the bishop on d1, and the king has absolutely nowhere to go. So queen to c1 is mate in 2. Find it, boys. Yeah, it's hard to call that a massive blunder by white. Their days were numbered, but they did go from about mate in 7 to mate in 2. Quickly to the other game. And they've narrowed the gap. They've narrowed the gap slightly here. They did the right move. They brought the bishop, white bishop to f1, trying to get rid of that bishop. All right, let's go back here. Now let's see if they can get. I'll be right back. All right, we're still waiting, I see. C1 is the play, obviously. All right, let's look at the other game here. Oh, no, let's not. There it is. C1. Here comes the bishop. The absolutely only move is the bishop. Queen takes bishop, and the game is over. The question is, will they realize that when this bishop comes down, they can just step in and take it? And the reason is because the g4 black bishop protects it. You have to think Ivan and William are starting to understand. Yeah, there's the resignation. Great job. Let's go Team Northeast Corridor with the first 2 points on the board. All right, let's go now to Brian and Lawton. Now this is really interesting. It's white to play. As far as I can tell, they can take the black bishop for free. The knight has moved, which doesn't seem to make a ton of sense. Unless the knight has big plans to go somewhere. But I don't see where that knight could go next that would pose any danger. And there's nothing attacking. Nothing attacking that h3 square. So, yeah, this is a big chance to get back in the game here. And again, the king is in a rotten position with its defenses stripped away from him. But this game is not over yet. We see the computer, the margin is only 2.67. Oh, wait, apparently somebody's YouTube chatting. Oh, there's actually people here. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Okay, so Ivan's in the chat. Ivan, if you want to join for a little post-game chat, I can send you the link. So They've moved the queen. Maybe I'm missing what's going on. Maybe somebody in the chat can tell me what's going on here. Why they didn't just take that bishop. Yeah, Ivan, I'll send you the link, Ivan, on GChat right now. All right, we're on. So okay, we're following Lawton. Lawton and Steve are up 2, which is really a big deal because they have less experience than slightly less experience than Brian and Chris here. And this is a really big match because after that win for Team Northeast Corridor, that come from behind win, the score is now 6-2. So after this match, it'll be 8-2, or it will be 6-4, and there's a really big difference there. To get 2 victories tonight would be huge for Northeast Corridor after what happened last night, getting off to that ugly 6-0 lead. All right, I am pleased to welcome Mr. Ivan Ross into the game. Ivan, how are you, sir?
Tired, and I think that explains our performance in that game.
Can you see my screen right now?
I sure can.
So looking at your match, I don't know, can you see this okay, well enough?
Yeah.
Okay, so here you guys are
I mean, I can tell you what happened. We were ahead until we failed to block their queen forking our rook.
let's go through right here. So here they make this knight move, and you guys do something really smart, which is to put him in check. They block with the. That was a mistake to block with the.
Yeah, we took the knight. That was the way to do it.
Took the knight, and so you're up 4 here, and so here they come trying to put pressure on. That's Lionel's MO. He likes to put pressure. You guys wisely take that B7 pawn, but here things start to change after the castle. And here comes the black queen, which is eventually going to absolutely wreak terror on you guys. You block with the pawn, which is fine. You're still up significantly.
Is there a reason why I'm here?
So, real quick, this is what I want you to explain. Here he comes to A3, and this is the move that changes it.
Yeah, I know the move. Obviously,
knight to F3. So tell me the thought process there.
I don't recall whose move that was.
Was it an individual move or a group move? Do you remember?
I think it was an individual move.
Okay. And so then he comes here, and then things go from bad to worse. What was the mentality? What was the group mindset here?
We knew we had lost. Sean is correct. We simply put an emphasis on castling ahead of protecting our asses. So what do you want from us? I'm not here to throw anyone under the bus. I'm here to take full responsibility for my partner's individual move.
And so here we go. Obviously here, this is when it starts to go to hell. Block with the knight, which is smart, but it's really the only thing you can do.
Yeah, it's just warding off the inevitable. I mean, they had to make the right moves in order to actually put us in checkmate.
Yeah. Here was a big one I found. Going to E1 here hastened your demise because it let them go to C1. Whereas if you had gone to D1, it kind of keeps it keeps things it makes things a little better. So C1 and then it's mate in 2. Obviously, you guys resign.
I'm sorry. What's different if we go to D1?
So D1, I mean, it's not markedly different, but here's what can happen with D1. You go to D1, he cannot then go to C1, obviously. So either have to go to b1 if he wants to put you in check, but then you're getting into near draw territory because you're repeating moves. And so likely he takes bishop with bishop. So I don't know if I can do this here. Yeah. So likely it's still mate in 7, and so likely he takes here. You probably want to take. You can't take with the king.
We would take with the knight.
Well, the problem with taking with the knight is that then he goes here, and you come here, and he gobbles up your rook, and then the game is basically over. But he comes here, check. Yeah, maybe you go here, and maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe that saves.
No, I mean, he's still wreaking havoc. I mean, when we moved the queen up to take that one pawn, we anticipated that they would get obsessed with the fact that our queen was up there and start sliding the rook over and trying to put pressure on our queen, but we knew that they couldn't do that. And yes, we underestimated them and didn't realize that they also were smart enough to realize that they didn't have anything on our queen up there. So they just went to attack, and that was the way to do it.
All right, let's look at the other game going on now.
All right.
Maybe you can explain. White has come back in this game. They were trailing for several moves now. They have not taken Black's h3 bishop, and maybe you can explain why.
Because the queen would just come down.
Oh yeah, the queen was not there before. That's that's new. That is new. Okay, so.
Oh wow, this is an even little match, eh?
It was. We can look back a few moves here. It was +4. Yeah, +4 at this point. They completely stripped the protection from the king. Forced the knight or the rook to move away. Here comes the knight. All good until this point. This move is actually a serious blunder, and so they bring the knight in. Queen moves up. Now they're down 12 or 13, if you believe the analysis here. So they move this up. That hurts them a little. They come down. We come down.
I don't even know who I'm rooting for here. Yoshi?
White is my team. Black is your team. Queen comes up. And so there you go. I mean, this has kind of been an interesting back and forth. But now White has a little bit of a lead.
What's the next round of this whole Ryder Cup thing?
All that remains after the pairs session is singles. So
that's 1 point each.
What's that?
Is each singles match worth 1 point?
Each singles match is worth 1 point.
How many more pairs matches are there?
After this one, only 2 more. So it would be this one, as I was explaining, I think before you came in, is difference between 8-2 or 6-4, or I guess 7-3 if it were a draw. Sean, I want to invite you in too, Sean. Sean seems to have more chess expertise than either one of us, and I would like him to analyze this current game.
More than I do, and I'm going to bid everyone a good night and go watch an episode of Dawson's Creek.
Good night to you, sir. Sean, you can come in at this link. So, okay, we're watching again. Team Northeast Quarter has struck back tonight on a great, huge come from behind victory by Damon and Lionel against William and Ivan. And now we've got Lawton and Steve playing the Delco boys, Chris and Brian. And Chris and Brian have fought back from an early deficit to hold a big lead here. It's Black's move. You can see the board. I wonder if there's a way to make the board like full screenish. Although I think it's appearing quite nicely on the page here, so I'm not upset. All right, I'm going to welcome in Mr. Sean O'Neill. Hello, Sean.
Hello, Shane.
You want to give a quick commentary on that first match that's now completed?
It's just a great example of how swiftly things can turn, I think. When, they had it all. They thought they were in a position of strength. One false move with the knight, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, it felt like this is a game where all they needed to do was castle. It was over. And I guess to the other team's credit, to our team's credit, they gave them that chance. But
right.
A castle, it's one of those moves where a castle is devastating, right? Because you're like, here we are down material, and now attacking the king is going to be a huge endeavor.
And that queen to a3 move, I think on first glance, they thought it was not as threatening as it was. It was a very, very deliberate move by the other team.
All right, so now looking at the one we're looking at here, what have you seen here? It's been kind of a comeback situation, which is thrilling for me because for a second it looked like both of our matches were going to be losses, and now one's a win, and we've got a very slight lead in the other.
So who are you're rooting for? White in this one?
So yeah, White is Brian and Chris. They're the Northeast Quarter team. The world is represented here by Lawton and Steve in black.
So black had it all, and then they got a little greedy in some unfortunate ways, I think. Everything they did with their knight like 4 moves ago was unfortunate.
Hold on 1 second, Sean.
Oh, nice. There we go.
I'll put it in the Genius Lounge here. So we're about to be flooded with viewers. Okay, so you're saying since what move? Like,
so go from here. So as you were saying, the queen or the king completely exposed. That knight moves fine. Then the queen moves up to threaten the knight, right?
Yep.
Then they want to make this skewer with the bishop. Fine idea. So they move their bishop in one more move, I guess. Black, yeah. So now they're thinking, oh, we got him. We're going to move this knight. Queen's going to be in trouble. Game over.
Yeah.
But in doing so, they put their knight in jeopardy.
So they move aside here. And yeah, now you're thinking like knight to e2 technically puts him in check, but it doesn't matter because the queen can take and get out of the way. So what do? So they go knight to...
Yeah, and this is kind of where the problems start, I would say.
Yeah, so this seems like, you get the idea, and the bishop is protected by the queen.
Yep.
So queen can't take bishop, but all you're doing is putting your knight one move away from being taken, basically.
And they've hung 2 pieces, right? They've hung the knight, and the white bishop, as you pointed out, has been hanging for like 4 moves.
So so they get the queen out of harm's way,
right? And
then this move,
your knight's gone.
The bishop.
I think they had to go knight back to f4 there to protect the bishop. Once the queen moves up, you can move the knight back. White bishop is no longer hanging.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So you're fine, and you're threatening the queen, by the way.
Yep.
Doing that too. So instead, they basically choose between. They make a Sophie's choice between pieces, and so then of course White takes, and then here we are. And so here they did another move, Sean, just now. Rook to e8. The computer does not like it. They've gone to +3 for White.
Yeah.
The thought there is, I guess the thought might be moving that e5 pawn up eventually, and then.
I guess that's going to let White get a not terrible pawn structure if they push the e, though.
That's right. And also they're already protected by the rook on that file, so maybe that's not the idea.
Yeah.
So they strike back with the pawn.
I think that was the right move.
Yeah, that pawn is not protected, so they can just take back, no problem.
But if the queen, they have to take with the pawn, obviously, because the white bishop remains under threat.
Oh,
the black bishop on it.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Now, we're getting to the point now. This started at 45 minutes. You're getting to the point. They're still fine, and they do the right thing there. They take with the pawn. But now, so I still think I'm still scared about this king here, despite White's lead.
Yeah,
you certainly cannot take that bishop, right? You don't want to invite the queen into this mess.
Yeah, basically the bishop is helping you right now. It's occupying a space while not being a direct threat. So
Let me try this out on you. You take the bishop.
yeah.
Queen comes down and takes. Then you move.
Then you
pawn,
push the F pawn.
F pawn to F4. Yeah.
Yep. This is interesting.
Oh, so they. Oh, okay. I like that move.
Yeah.
And the computer does too.
You had to, something you had to work on that pawn. I was wondering if you should stack on the D file with the A rook, but I like this.
Is there any way for them to save their rook here? Yeah, the answer is bishop.
You pull the bishop.
Yeah. You're certainly not going to take with the queen. Obviously, the rook can't move. The only move here is bishop back, right?
Yep.
So going back real quick, Sean, let's do some theory. So
yeah, let's.
Oh shoot. So
I'm sure we're both qualified for that.
Yeah, definitely. I guess I can't do what I want to do. Let me see.
You want sort of like an analysis board kind of thing.
Oh, here's something interesting. So,
yeah.
Okay, it tells us the best. Oh, I don't know if you can see the lines I brought up.
I can see the stockfish.
Yeah. So, bishop back. We're right. We're heroes.
Yeah. Woo.
If they do that, would you take the bishop? You kind of have to, right? I mean,
you either take the bishop or you bring your A rook over to the D file, I think.
So double up.
Yeah.
With the queen. Okay.
Because basically, as soon as you can trade, if you can get that queen off of that diagonal, the bishop's yours. So you could even, if they move back, well, no, you can't do that. I think black will find the right move. Yeah.
So there goes the bishop.
I think you take.
They're advocating a take. The other thing they're saying is take the pawn. But taking the pawn is a slightly better move according to the stockfish.
Oh yeah. I love watching stockfish, catch up. It's fun. Either way.
I think we'll likely see the bishop being taken here.
Yeah.
I think taking the pawn is like dubious. I mean, it's obviously the best move, but it takes a lot to
right.
do that and not to.
And why not trade material? You're up, trade material, basic rule, right?
Yeah, the fewer threats on your king side, the better. And, well, let's see. This is interesting because they did take the pawn.
Look at that!
Wow,
look at that!
Very impressed, Elko boys. I was going to say, if it comes to a point where you do an exchange and have the tempo and the queen is involved in the exchange, then you're getting a bishop for free on h3. If you can time it right, where they have to make the last move in the exchange, in other words.
Exactly.
So right here, if they didn't take the queen, if black didn't take the queen, well, the next move, well, obviously they're going to have to move the queen here because the queen is unprotected at the moment.
Let's see. If you pull the rook, both queens are sort of playing with fire on these open files, right?
Yeah.
Someone's going to stack their rook behind one.
So let's say if they move their rook to d8, then you take the queen. Rook has to take back, and then you capture that bishop, right?
No, bishop would capture back.
What do you mean?
Like if white queen takes black queen, the bishop will retake rather than the rook.
Oh, of course. Yeah, good point.
It's an interesting tension right now.
Yeah,
let's say.
I'm looking at the a4 knight. So this is a blunder.
Yeah, that can't be right. Just
I
thinking
think
of-
now
I mean, that's a free bishop now.
you take with the queen, right?
that's just a hanging bishop, 100%.
Now, what would you do here? Well, actually, I guess. Oh, okay. So obviously, taking with the bishop is the better move.
Yeah, I would probably take with the bishop, but I mean, you're in a dominant position either way.
Yeah, and an equally good move apparently is taking the. Somehow, I don't understand how, but taking the bishop on h3.
I guess either way, you end up a bishop. Like you get 2 bishops for 1 either way. Well, you can if you want.
Oh, you know what I think happens? All right, so if they take the h3 bishop,
Yep.
Queen takes back.
Mm-hmm.
Then you take their dark square bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're threatening the rook.
Right.
So what do? Do they come take the rook then, and you take back?
And you pull over. I mean,
and then
it's just a disaster.
yeah. See, that was a big mistake by Black.
Yeah, I wonder why they did that.
We'll never know.
I guess, I mean, not that I would have seen. I feel like pulling your queen back to c8 is a move there, rather than pushing. They were sort of charging all ahead rather than because they want to keep that queen there protecting the bishop.
Yeah.
But you could have either, I think you just got to pull the queen back.
So looking at the thing, bishop, they want you to take. Stockfish wants
Just trade it up.
Yeah,
No,
trade.
What do they want you to do?
Trade and then
F5. Oh, to threaten the queen? Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, there still is a lot of tension in this situation where you feel like +10 looks great for white, but what could go wrong?
I mean, yeah, I feel this a lot when I'm watching chess, and like obviously, the players we watch who are playing professionally, convert this a million times out of a million. But
oh yeah. So if they do take the F1 bishop, then obviously you're retaking with the rook.
Yes.
Or the king, or no?
I'd probably take with the king. No.
The king lets them immediately put you in check.
It lets the queen come down.
h3.
Yep. Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter right now, does it? I mean,
I don't think so.
It doesn't really matter.
But with this position, there are a lot of, given where the rooks are, there are a lot of goofy ways to kind of blunder into a checkmate once the queen gets down. If the black queen gets down on that,
right,
file, right?
Yeah.
It'd be unfortunate, but they exist.
I don't know what. Let's say they don't see F1. Okay, so
there we go. Okay, so we're making some good moves.
Yeah.
So now, what do you do?
They like knight c5 the best to exchange queens.
Yeah, you just keep making sure you always have equal threats presented, I guess.
Yeah. There's a couple good moves. So rook to e8, capturing their rook. You can do.
And threatening checkmate. They have to take back with something.
Right, exactly. Yeah, if you make the mistake of taking the queen, then it's rook takes rook and it's over because you're protected by that bishop.
Yep.
That would be the move I would make, even though it's not the best move. That's
right.
I wouldn't be flirting with the rook with the knight because I'd be too scared. And the other move they're talking about is just queen d2, which fair enough.
Right, exactly.
That's almost like what I would expect them to do here.
Yeah.
Because it's the safest move. And
I do like taking with the rook. Give your opponent a chance to let you checkmate him. Always.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. If you see it, for sure. Yeah. Really, you'd have to take back with the rook in that case, or would you take back with the queen and ease some pressure?
Queen, I think.
Oh yeah, because then the next move, the bishop's taking the rook, the other rook.
Yep.
Yeah, no thank you. So time could become a factor here. We got 12 minutes, 12 and a half minutes for one side, 13 for another.
How is this tournament set out? Is the time, are we moving up to bullet at some point or always staying sort of?
These pairs matches are 45 minutes long. Singles, which is the only other thing after this. We had a 18-person group game yesterday.
Nice.
Singles, which is after this, will be, I believe, 30 minutes because there's no. Now in these, so right now, Sean, they're playing in Zooms where they have to alternate individual moves, and then there's 2 group moves where they consult each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's that's why we have so much time because there's a lot of
That's
your individual moves you can't consult, and then the group moves you can.
And do we presume in a group move, you're trying to plot, 2-3 moves ahead, I assume, while you're our group able?
Oh yeah, you're allowed. You're completely allowed to do that.
That's pretty interesting. Group chess.
Yeah, it actually was pretty fun yesterday.
Yeah. And has chess been a pandemic hobby pickup for you? A lifelong hobby?
Yeah,
yeah, there you go. I mean, I know from Fortnite, you sprinkling some chess questions in there, but
yeah. I got one in there. So okay, I'm starting to get mildly concerned about White's time here, and on one hand, I think this game should resolve.
Yes,
I think we're in a position where we're going to start to see some fireworks, but I would like it to happen sooner than later.
Agreed. Forceful moves. Let's see.
Yeah, right. We haven't had a game get very close to the end yet, and so the format is going to be crazy if there's like not much time left because they have to go to breakout rooms in Zoom and.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Very, very curious what's going to happen here.
I mean, I like this. I assume the white team is thinking we are so far ahead. Just don't fuck this up. Exactly. And I respect that.
They have to know they're in the lead here.
Yes. You're up.
I think
2 major pieces.
Scared of making any move.
Yes.
That doesn't free the queen from this bishop.
Yes.
And I get that.
Yeah.
They need to like decide now. They've spent okay. That move is just fine.
It's got to be fine. It's got to be. I mean, it hangs the pawn. That's why D2 is better, but.
Well, yeah. Okay. You know what? Now I was going to say they can advance the pawn, but that actually brings the knight into the game, and that's just fine if they push that C6 pawn forward.
Yeah. Right.
So they're and now for them it's saying just rook D8. They want to line up behind the queen, like you were talking about.
Yeah, I think you have to at some point.
At that point, if they do that, they can then freely take the bishop.
Yeah, so at that point, maybe the bishop then tries to line itself up for white, or the rook, rather.
I was going to say rook to D1.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably a rook to D1, right?
Yeah, I would think. Huh.
There are other moves, it looks like. So the rook coming down there, okay. That's very interesting. I would absolutely move the knight up here and fork the queen and rook, right?
Yeah, it looks pretty well. Yeah, why not? Well, then
that doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because then the queen would take. I think you should just take with the white rook on E, I think. Because if you take, he has to take with something. You're getting both rooks.
Oh, 100%. Yes. You're completely right.
I think.
Right, because his choice is either take the rook back with the bishop.
But you got the queen.
Oh. That's a complication. I take it back.
Yeah, it's gotta be right to take this rook, though, I'm imagining.
The problem is, well, rook E6 is the best move.
Yeah, has to. Yeah.
Lining up the rook on D1 is the second best move. Both of those moves are really good. Yeah. Bishop to C5. They like, okay, I can see that. It protects the queen, sure. That to me just seems like wasting time, though.
You kind of have no bad moves as long as you are doing something with a major piece.
I know.
Yeah.
But again, here we go. 8.5 minutes left. This is starting to make me quite nervous.
I know, and so we can't tell when it's a duo or a single move, huh?
Yeah, we don't know. I'm not in on their Zoom.
I mean, I assume given the time that they just took on that last move, I'm going to guess that was a duo move, but who knows?
You would think, yeah, a lot of conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah, boys, let's go. You're winning. You're winning. Let's move.
Take some pieces. Simplify your position.
Exactly. Exchange, and you've got it made in the shade.
This is fun.
It is fun. And it's interesting to know, like, okay, Stockfish gives them +10. If you could factor in time to that, what would be?
Right.
I'm giving them maybe +2 right now.
Factor in time, experience level. So are most people like relatively beginner who are playing in this?
Yeah. I mean, some people have like had some experience, but I think for the most part, it's I've become like obsessed with it. Miles is very good and has obviously played a lot before.
Nice.
But yeah, beyond him, I think we're all, I definitely knew how the pieces move and stuff, but didn't have any expertise beyond that.
I mean, it's been really interesting to see chess like explode in streaming at the same time as the Queen's Gambit, and due to the Queen's Gambit.
Oh boy, that's not a good one. That's what I initially saw and passed over. So here they take the bishop for free.
So queen, you just queen d6, right? Or do you?
Wait, what do they want? Rook G6.
Oh, you can just check. So that's a way out of this fork as well.
And actually, anything else almost brings it back to even. Rook D6 is a good move.
Right, and that's what we were seeing initially.
Yeah. So now with the time, now I'm starting to become a little pessimistic about White's chances here. They're going to have to start moving much quicker. So let's say Rook takes. Let's say Rook takes Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Then what?
I think you still trade it down. I think you still take Queen with the Knight. You let your Queen go to the. Well, then you're even, huh? Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be slightly still better for White, but.
Yeah. You're still.
Well, you would have. Here's the thing: you have a knight and bishop up to their just bishop, but that is hardly.
Yeah, it's not the easiest conversion at that point.
No, and it's certainly not as good. Yeah, here the best you can hope for here. Oh boy. If he takes bishop, I'm almost. No. I was going to say line up on D1, but then he just gets your queen. That's actually an awful move.
Yeah, I hope they don't take the bishop with the queen. That's the bad move, I think.
Even then, it's actually no different, right?
Is it? Let's see if they do that.
So you take queen, they take queen, and then you're right where you are.
If so, black takes the bishop, then knight takes the rook, protecting the queen. Queen still threatened.
Oh, I forgot about the knight protecting the.
There might be something else. I'm really not good at like looking ahead, which is why I'm.
Well, you've got the bishop that can take the knight, but at that point, it's academic because the queen would be on the move taking their queen, so exactly. that would never even come into play. Boy, it'd be so interesting if they put him in check here.
I know. That'd be a great move.
And what do you do there? Would you move the bishop up to protect the king rather than move the king?
Ooh, see. Okay, let's see. Let's see if they see that the knight should take.
And you're absolutely right. E6 is the best move here, and it's a killer move.
Oh yeah, jeez. Is that plus
And not only is it a killer move, anything else is bad.
right.
I shouldn't say bad, but anything else puts you down to like +5.
Yeah, it's the way you preserve your advantage, essentially. Huh.
Now they need to start moving here. I can't emphasize that enough. I wish I was there to be like, guys, sack the queen. I don't care. Like, do something. Queen to E4, as long as it happens quickly.
Please. Oh yeah, I mean, oof. Once it hits 5 minutes, they're going to start thinking about it too. I'm sure they are already. But
there it is. Boom! Excellent job.
Nice. There we go.
Come on, Brian. Come on, Chris.
There we go. So now, I mean, I can't. Oof, what is even Black's move best here?
Nothing good here.
You probably still just trade the queen.
Queen is the best. Queen is the only thing that averts even worse disaster. Queen exchanging. And then, I mean, then what? Line up those rooks, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, still just play for time. It's like take the queen. They'll take.
Yeah, then move a pawn up so your king doesn't get back ranked, right?
Right. But then then white is going to have to start pushing pawns, picking off pawns, and we'll see how the end game is.
It gets fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now black's no picnic on time either. Like if white picked it up here, they would have to worry themselves about time.
Great move by white. I'm proud of them for that knight move.
That's fantastic.
It's always much easier to see moves when you're watching other people play, obviously.
And when Stockfish tells you exactly what to do.
That's the real advantage.
Yeah.
And so it's like I don't really get like people play correspondence chess where people use Stockfish, right? And that's like a very active thing. I don't really understand it though.
Okay, there's the queen. All right, so this should start to get pretty basic here now.
All right. Only one move. Do it fast.
Yeah, guys. There's no need to debate here. Guys, come on. This move should have been instantaneous.
Everything else you lose. Just do it.
Yeah.
Preserve your time.
You gotta be kidding!
Oh no.
You've gotta be kidding me!
Oh my god.
What on earth?
Well, I did not see that coming.
Oh!
Now move over and
what the fuck?
Wow. That I did not see coming.
I am flabbergasted. Oh no!
And that's fully flipped. I mean, black.
All right, so this makes it from a 6-4 thing into 8-2.
Or
I shouldn't say 8-2. Maybe we'll have a draw.
What was no?
I think they thought they could back rank him, not knowing he could get away.
Yeah.
Now the correct move there was rook to D1 probably.
Right. Exactly. There's no need. You want to control both open files. Your A rook is doing literally nothing.
That is my goodness. I don't know what to say.
That's unfortunate.
All the queen has to do is stay away. I would play for time 100% here if I were black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine move. Oof, man.
I mean, you can try to put him in check.
Yeah.
I don't know. Experience shows me they're probably not going to move quickly. Oh my goodness.
Boy.
What? What was the thought? It'll be fast. All right, let's go back here.
One space away from the back rank working.
Here they go.
Oh. I
think maybe they thought that king takes and then they checkmate with E8.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, this is a move that's going to go down in.
Yikes.
And now we've run off a minute of time. There. Okay, there's check. Black is winning. Black is winning now.
Only one move, and just, I mean, I don't know if this will be their instinct. You just want to bring your king into action now. Your king's a piece now. Get him involved. I assume they're gonna go for check on E1. I'm just guessing.
Sean, I just want to tell you, I'm quietly devastated here.
Yeah, I'm sorry you had to witness that in live. You had it all. You had it all.
I had it all. I was already kind of counting 6-4. I was just worried about time, but they're gonna lose on time here, I think.
Yeah, what's their plan with their rook now? Their rook is now.
I mean, you could go rook D1 here. I mean, rook A D1. Oh, yeah, okay. It looks like that's the best
you
move.
Can. You
have
to do something to protect your own rook now.
You start checking him, but the problem is you're taking a minute and a half per move. The math doesn't work out. They did the right move there. That's good. King, queen,
So
they want queen.
Just start taking pawns. If you just take that pawn with the queen.
Yeah, so they want
Why not?
They want queen to put him in check here. If the queen puts him in check and the bishop protects,
yeah,
a good next move would be bishop H3, right?
Yeah.
As in, like, one move away from mate if they don't make the right move.
They should never be able to get to mate white now, I don't think.
No, I mean, their one hope is to start moving very quickly and hope that they can turn the time around, maybe.
Now it's like it's basics for black, right? Take a piece or put a king in check. Just let that time tick.
I feel bad in advance for my reaction to the queen. Brian and Chris, I love you guys. When you watch this later, I'm sorry. I should not. I will be curious to know the rationale behind that, but
I'm curious to know who was in control or both.
Yeah. Well, what's so funny is because, I mean, the rook move before that was so good.
I know. It's perfect.
And it set it up perfectly. You go, how did you know that? And then not just put the finishing touch on.
It's very interesting.
Okay, so here black is using too much time.
Yeah, just keep it moving.
I hope white is conscious of this and that maybe they can, because now they're within a minute.
Right.
Now there's interesting things where with the group and individual moves you have to go to breakout rooms.
Right.
That takes time, and so that now becomes a
very real factor. Huh?
It becomes a big factor. Where I would almost say, like, I would hope. I'll probably mention this later. I would hope in the room they both agreed not to go to breakout rooms anymore, because it's not worth the time it takes to do that.
Yeah.
So okay, this is.
Come on, black. Keep your time.
This is a little gobsmacking here too. If I were black, I would have been very conscious of the time. Okay.
There you go. Great move.
Yep. Okay. Now, quickly check on D7, right?
Yeah. Then you lose. No, you gotta.
Oh no! Never mind. Yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to do. You gotta.
Just anything.
You gotta get your bishop involved somehow.
Maybe bishop to G2.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a fine. What's the best move there? What's the 3?
Oh, let's see. Oh, it is bishop G2. I swear I didn't look.
I trust you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, tick-tock. A move should have been made 30 seconds ago.
I mean, the problem, yeah. They might finally have to pay for that king being all alone over there. And it's protected by a single pawn, essentially.
The bishop's got to go there because otherwise the next move is bishop H3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you take the bishop...
Too slow here, I think.
The bishop and black takes...
I don't know if we're going to get a move in before the time here.
Yeah, basically, so their rooks are basically, locked in with each other there. Neither can leave the D file.
Okay, there's a move.
There's got to be some sort of checks to be given now or something. What do you?
Now, I'm just curious when we're going to see people start to move quickly here. I mean, that was 2 minutes in a time when you had leveled the time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the path is to mate for black. Do you see one?
I don't.
That bishop actually on f1 is kind of a nasty little figure.
Yeah, between the bishop and the pawn, they're doing a fine job sort of controlling those squares.
Yeah, because you bring black bishop to h3, thinking, oh, so there goes the check. Now here,
I assume is fine. Never a bad idea.
Sure, yeah. Now if they do king h1, that's mate in 4. So king h2 or bishop protecting is fine. There, okay, good. They got the right one. They did it relatively quickly.
Yeah. So now just either the bishop or march your pawn, right?
No. Yeah, maybe you're thinking bishop, maybe e4.
Yeah, I'm wondering why that's bad. It must be bad for a reason.
So now they want you to bring the pawns up. Yeah.
No way they push a pawn here. I would be shocked if they pushed a pawn.
Yeah, queen g5 is the next best move, which is what? Just moving back in space. Black has absolutely nothing in the cooker right now. That bishop is killing them.
Yeah.
And they've got to get the rook away from the king before they can think about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Both rooks at this point. Like, they couldn't just take that pawn, for instance.
Right.
Okay, now black's taking time.
I feel like black wants to do bishop to e4, and I do want to know why that's bad.
Okay. This is again the clock management here. We've got a bunch of Andy Reid, or I should say pre Kansas City Andy Reids.
There you go. Yeah, you gotta amend.
Yeah. So, Jesus, it's getting to be equal again.
Yeah. We've already seen the crazy move. We're gonna see one or two more crazy moves. I feel like it's gonna be great. I'm excited.
Like king going back to the back rank. Maybe
something weird.
It's actually illegal at this point. Otherwise, whoa. Okay, black. White, please. From my lips to your ears, please move fit.
Okay, nice. They did push a pawn.
They pushed a pawn. Okay, rook d4 is the best here. Just anything. At this point, just anything, guys.
Yeah, because rook d4 just slows black down.
Come on, the time is the critical element here. Move.
Sub-minute shortly.
Yeah. Okay, that
can't be right.
It's not great, but it's it's whatever.
And it's not great. You should just push the queen up, I imagine. You never lose if you put the queen on g3. Ever. You're just queen g. Okay. I'm sure this probably doesn't mean either,
but okay, we're under a minute with both teams now. Jesus, this is getting exciting. Just move the rook all the way down or something. Move the rook to d2. Oh, that's the move.
There you go. They want to do something crazy with their rook.
Fast.
I told you they want
to
do
something
crazy
there
with
it
their
is.
rook. That's it.
Okay. Oh, here they go. It's going fast now. Move. Don't take the rook. Don't take. Just take it and then march pawns or something. Come on.
Take it. Might as well. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just give a check. Do something. Give a check.
It's driving me nuts. The time on both is driving me crazy.
Move a piece.
They're taking so much time now. Come on, TikTok. Okay, back. Move. Do something. Anything.
I don't know how I knew they were going to do that rook check, but I could feel it.
They're just not moving.
Okay, that's fine.
No, this is over. This is over. They wait. Yeah.
Just move your pieces and you're fine. Keep pushing the pawn. Keep pushing the H pawn. Why not? Just do a move. Come on.
I wonder if breakout rooms are messing them up here. Oh my God. Come on.
Do anything. Push anything.
Push. Do something. Do something. No. Yes.
Okay, take the rook. Take the rook. Game over.
That's it. Unbelievable,
man.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Well done by everyone. White had it all. They had
White
it all.
had it all. Classic tale. Oh Lordy! All right, my friend, I'm gonna push finish on this. Thank you for joining me.
I need to get back to work. This was a distraction while I'm still in the office late night, so this was excellent.
I love your blinds, by the way. They look classy.
I work in a classy law firm, if nothing else.
See you, Sean.